1960s, the Beatles took a break from rock and roll and turned to this man for spiritual guidance. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, an Indian guru who introduced transcendental meditation to the Western world.
The practice is very simple, it's very natural, it's effortless. One feels relaxed, one feels happy inside.
Maharishi travelled the world spreading the good news. His technique is practiced by over 6 million people.
His key message was that life is bliss, that life is to be enjoyed.
But extraordinary claims of levitation, yogic flying, and the ability to bring about world peace have made it highly controversial.
The only evidence at this stage is people who claim that they have levitated. No independent observer has ever noted anyone actually rising off the ground more than just bouncing. Anyone can do that, it's just jumping up and down in the same place with your legs crossed.
There's no doubt transcendental meditation has its critics. It's been labelled a cult, a religious practice, even an outright sham. But does it have health benefits? Prayer is probably the best known type of meditation, but others include mindfulness meditation, Zen meditation, and of course transcendental meditation, or TM.
Transcendental meditation is a very simple mental technique. Practiced 20 minutes twice a day with eyes closed.
It's not a form of concentration at all. In fact, we just utilise our natural thinking ability.
TM is an ancient Indian tradition, and it often conjures up thoughts of religion.
As a practice, this has nothing to do with religion. People of all religions practice transcendental meditation.
So let's close our eyes.
So what makes TM different from other types of meditation?
We do use a tool, a mantra. And a mantra is a meaningless sound. You learn the sound that's suitable for the individual, and also you're given guidance on how to use it correctly.
The mind becomes very still. That gives very deep rest to the whole physiology, the whole body gets deep rest, and the mind becomes more alert.
Critics often say that TM is really no different to resting. It certainly looks restful, but could there be something else going on in the brain that makes TM different? I decided to see for myself. We've come to Sydney's Brain and Mind Research Institute to put TM to the test. Dr. Andrew Kemp is a neurophysiologist and an expert at interpreting electroencephalograms, or EEGs. He's able to see whether the electrical activity in the brain is different during rest and transcendental meditation.
Tanya, I'll just get you to close your eyes for us now.
During rest, we expect to see the alpha brain waves in the posterior or back of the brain.
So you can clearly see these regular, strong bursts of alpha activity occurring in the posterior parts of the brain in comparison to the frontal part of the brain. All right, Tanya, can you enter your meditative state now?
After 10 minutes of transcendental meditation, the EEG began to change dramatically.
Look, we're observing increased alpha in the posterior region as well as the frontal regions at the same time. It's nicely synchronised. It's a completely different EEG trace to what we're observing during the eyes open, eyes closed states.
So resting is certainly different to doing transcendental meditation?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the first times that I've seen that.
The prefrontal cortex is what makes us human. It's responsible for our judgment and planning. When we're under stress, that gets shut down, and so we become more impulsive. When we meditate, the stress reduces and the whole brain starts to once again function the way it was meant to. So then we're able to be more insightful. Transcendental meditation was agreed.
One report combined over 140 different studies. and showed that TM was twice as effective at reducing anxiety compared to other methods. Jamie Pollock knows firsthand about anxiety. He spent years living in the fast lane.
I always wanted to be the life of the party. Behind the wheel of the car, I was a maniac. I was lucky I didn't hurt myself. Everything was flat out like Formula One pace for me.
Reaching breaking point, Jamie learnt TM.
I noticed the results straight away, day one. Yeah. Sometimes you experience a profoundly deep inner silence, and you come out feeling extremely blissful and just almost like nothing can rattle you. And you got this storm going on the outside, but the peace remains on the inside.
Gee, it sounds too good to be true.
Psychiatrist and former director of mental health in New Zealand, Dr. Nick Argyle, says the earlier you learn, the better.
The ideal time to learn would be in childhood because when your brain is developing through childhood and adolescence, you want to give it the best possible chance of fulfilling its potential.
A growing number of schools across the United States have made TM part of the curriculum.
Purely in learning terms, you see academic performance improve, but also you see the kids being more mature, being more cooperative, and say running into less behavioural problems.
This primary school in Victoria boasts the same results.
I teach mathematics to quite a few of those girls, and just to see the change in this 1 year from the time they started to do their sitting technique, it's just amazing.
The kids at this school meditate twice a day for 10 minutes, once in the morning and once in the afternoon. As you can see, very peaceful.
After I do meditation, I just feel relaxed and all the stress that I've been going through the day is just finished. It makes me feel calm.
I just feel much more confident. You're feeding your mind and your soul and your body and you feel refreshed.
Working with their minds is such a joy, and they comprehend an amazing level of comprehension.
And the benefits don't stop there. Cardiologist Dr. Ross Walker says the effects of TM on blood pressure are impressive.
The average reduction of blood pressure with TM is about 5 millimetres of mercury, but some studies have shown up to around 15 millimetres of mercury. So that is a significant reduction in blood pressure, about the same as an average blood pressure pill. I think the science is sound, and we have to realise that there are no side effects to this technique.
A small trial conducted by the Maharishi University of Management and the Medical College of Wisconsin studied people with established heart disease. It found that transcendental meditation reduced strokes, heart attacks and deaths by around 50%.
If there was any drug that did that, we'd never stop hearing about it. But unfortunately, we can't bottle TM.
But Dr. Richard Gordon remains sceptical and warns no patient should stop taking medication with the idea that TM will solve all their health problems.
The difficulty is evaluating the long-term effects of this meditation from the point of view as does it last for very long after you've stopped meditating? Do you have to keep meditating to get that effect?
Dr. Walker says Western medicine doesn't always have the answers.
In medicine, we've been taught for many years that proper medicine is drugs, surgery, and if you're really unlucky, radiotherapy. Conservative scientists don't think a bit outside the square to accept other techniques.
If I said to someone there's two different treatments you can have, one takes 10 seconds to take a tablet at night and the other one takes an hour or two a day, preceded by quite a long course in education, there's not much doubt about which one they're likely to use. And it's hard enough to get people to have a reasonable diet and good level of exercise. The chances of actually getting them to take an hour or so out of their day and meditate, they're virtually zero.
You can learn TM with a qualified teacher on a one-to-one basis, but the thing that really gets up the nose of the TM skeptics is that the course doesn't come cheap. Its price tag, $1,500.
There is a course fee, as there is with learning anything. The course fee is really minimal in terms of the fact that you have this for life, you have this technique, and it's an investment in your health.
These days, there's not too many things you can get for nothing. If you take your blood pressure pills, that becomes a great expense over a number of years, taking a blood pressure pill as well, with the potential for side effects.
There are much cheaper alternatives than transcendental meditation. People can buy CDs or books from bookshops, and general practitioners have access to information that can be given to patients that will have the same effect, but much more cheaply.
Whether or not you learn TM is really a personal choice. But there's one thing we know for certain, and that's a lifetime of practicing sure didn't do Maharishi Mahesh Yogi any harm.
The man dubbed the Giggling Guru passed away 2 years ago, at the ripe old age of 91.